Hey guys, welcome to my Ironman series. This is episode 11. So first and foremost, I got myself a new mic. If you were wondering why I sound so different or if this is the same person, now you'll know why. I've actually gotten a comment where some guy said I sounded like Walter Jr. from Breaking Bad. But yeah, I don't think that'll be a problem anymore because the audio quality should be way better now. Okay, so where did we left off from episode 10? So earlier I went and beat the 5 caves and I got myself a nice fire cave. And on this episode, we finally see a glimpse of my Ironman bossing at God Wars. Yeah, that's right, God Wars on an Ironman. About time. So before that, I had some important events that happened prior to the God Wars PVM in-game. So I continued doing Slayer, obviously, to level up my stats and collect charms and all that stuff. You know, the usual. But I got a Desert Strike Worm task, right? I've done a few already, but the thing I wanted from them was the focus sight, which I haven't gotten. But on this particular task, I actually got the focus sight drop, which is an important component to making the full Slayer helmet. As you all know, a long-term goal of mine is to make one of these. And at this point, I just need the Hex Crest now to make the full Slayer helmet. Well, I never have to do the Desert Strike Worm tasks anymore, which is great because they're pretty boring and they don't give anything good aside from the focus sight. And also, I got a Jungle Strike Worm task a few days later, and you know, they dropped the Hex Crest, the final piece I needed to make the Slayer helmet. And yes, I did get it after like 10 of these tasks. I immediately banned them as soon as I got the Hex Crest because they suck for Slayer and just they don't give anything good. So yeah, finally I got myself the full Slayer helmet. Nice. Also, I got my first ever Aviansee task. Well, you know, it tempted me to want to try out Armadale God Wars, but I realized it'd be incredibly inefficient without a level 80 weapon, since I can't use a chaotic staff there efficiently. So I backed off of that and I just killed the regular Aviansees. I was shocked during this task because these guys were giving me some really good drops. No, not the noted added bars. I'm talking about War Priest armor. Very early on, I got the Armadale War Priest helmet. I'm like, wow, okay. I thought these War Priests were rare, but you know, maybe I'm just lucky. So I continue killing some more, and legit, I got another War Priest armor. This time, the gloves. Okay, so I'm just more than just shocked because seeing how common it is, and that was not even the end of it though. Within this Slayer task, I got 2 more War Priest armor pieces, the cape and the body. So within one task of like maybe 160 Aviansees, I got 4 pieces of War Priest armor. So with all this Slayer, eventually got me to 85 Slayer, which is a huge landmark in RuneScape in general, because now I have access to the famous Abyssal Demons. You know, the whip drop would be a great trophy and all, and it's also a list of PVM drops I need for my series. You know, which reminds me I should, you know, define what items that this series you know, goals are. So maybe in the next episode I will put up some sort of a bulletin with all the checked items and all the items that I need to get from my series. But anyways, the Abyssal Whip is not useful for me, but the Abyssal Wand and the Orb will be very useful because it is stronger than the Blisterwood Staff and it doesn't degrade. While I was getting Casey for the boss, I managed to get Zami War Priest gloves and boots, which is awesome because the Zamorak War Priest armor set effect is really good for bossing, since it has a very low chance to negate damage by 90%. Alright, so finally to the meat of this episode, which is God Wars bossing on an Ironman. So I got a few Greater Demon tasks, and as many of you know, the Zami boss is classified as a Greater Demon. So I know at this point in time, Zami boss was more than doable. I had tried it earlier with a God Staff way long time ago, and you know, it just doesn't work out. I have full Slayer helmet for damage boost, the Attune Ectoplasmator to extend my trips, because the boss and the minions drops Infernal Ashes, and that will give me prayer. and a chaotic staff. So I went to Samurai God Wars, and finally it was very manageable with my current stats and setup. I had around, let's say, 90 HP, 90 mage, 75 defense, and 70 prayer. I managed to get around 20 to 25 actual kills a trip. Anyways, back to Zami. I had a pretty good start on drops. My first drop was a Godsword Shard, I don't remember which number, and so was my second drop, and so was my third. In fact, I just kept getting shards. I got like 5 shards with nothing else unique in between. So I was kind of pissed at this point because I thought I would get a subjugation piece or something. But after a while, I finally broke my kind of dry streak, and I got myself something else besides shards, and they were the Zarmakian Wargreaves, the pants, and the Zarmakian Warhat. So at this point, I can now use the Zarmakian War Armor for its effect, now that I have a little bit more than 3 pieces. But, you know, I had patience, and I stuck to it, and I continued to kill the Zami boss. And, well, it paid off. My first big drop from God Wars was a Zamrak Hilt. Yeah, that was by far my biggest accomplishment so far on my Ironman series. And the funny thing is, I also have the God Sword Shards 1, 2, and 3. So technically, I can make a God Sword, but I don't have 80 smithings. Yeah, so I can't even make it yet. Eventually, I'll get the smithing to make it because, well, that wraps it up for this episode. The next episode will be more PVM and more loots, so be sure to stick around for that. Also, I want to do another old school RuneScape progress video featuring the new Zora boss soon. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Later.